Hey everyone, welcome one, welcome all, welcome back to my channel today. And I see that you all read the title of the video and saw the thumbnail because I know you guys have questions about that. Because I see that there's a lot of people in the spiritual spaces and just, the general occult community when it comes to this figure, this entity that I'm going to talk about today. Like, there's a lot of just unwarranted, undeserved hype and deification towards this entity that does not need to happen, and quite frankly, undeserved. So I'm going to be talking about the figure that proliferated the occult space known as Lilith, the entity also known as Lilitu and Lamashtu in Mesopotamian and Jewish folklore, because I'm quite, I'm just quite sick and tired of everyone giving this figure praise when there's nothing to praise her about. And that is her being touted in propped up as this figure of feminine, dark feminine empowerment, when just a quick Google search, a quick, just doing like 10 minutes of research on this character, calling her character, this figure, you know, Lilith is also known as Lilitu and Lamashtu and is known to be a terrifying figure towards women and children, because doing any bit of research, you'll know that her prime targets were women and children. She would harm them. She would mainly attack pregnant women, because that was another thing that stood out to me about this figure, that their prime targets were also pregnant women and would force them to miscarry. And it got so bad they had to invoke another beloved figure in the occult space, especially if you work with demons. You probably have heard of the entity Pazuzu, and that is how Pazuzu comes into play, was to be this as a figure to ward away the Lamashtu when it came to, protecting the home, protecting the women and children in the home, because Lilith would be known to terrorize and hurt them. So it just doesn't make sense why, especially when it comes to, like, feminism and female icons within spirituality, that there are people that look to Lilith and prop her up as this symbol of inspiration when she's not, and she never has been. And this also reminds me of a conversation that I had yesterday with my friend, the Dark Oracle Sage. I'll provide a link to her channel because she made a blog post about this a few minutes ago, because we were literally talking about this subject. What we were talking about yesterday was about the full story of Adam and Eve and how it pertains to Lilith and the aftermath of what happened to Adam and Eve when they were kicked out of the garden. So the full reason why Lilith is not considered a demon in the dark forces, when she's not considered a mother demon, she's not a demonic goddess, is because of what I'm going to tell the collective right now. It's because that after what happened, after Satan persuaded Eve to bite into the apple, to reach out for enlightenment in order to liberate herself from the oppressive hands of the demiurge, after she was exiled with Adam, Lilith heard about what had happened and went to go pay Adam and Eve a visit. Because not only did she hear that they were kicked out of the garden, but she wasn't particularly fond of the fact that Adam had a new wife. Like, even though Lilith made great effort to escape or get away from Adam, because Adam was controlling. I'll give the occultists that Adam was indeed controlling, but Lilith, like, as my friend Sage put it, Adam and Lilith had a very toxic relationship, so they were both mutually bad for each other, but Lilith wasn't over the relationship with Adam, so Lilith decided to come back and pay them a visit, and didn't like the fact that Eve was there, and basically she decided to I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on YouTube, but she got rid of Eve violently. A very gruesome way to go. So yeah, Lilith is the reason why Eve was no more. She had offed her, KIA. So since Lilith offed Eve, not only was that a crime against Eve, but that was also a crime against Satan as well, because Satan had chosen Eve to receive the enlightenment, to eat the fruit of good and evil, to gain the knowledge of gods. Satan had chosen Eve. Eve was Satan's chosen. So in hurting Satan's chosen, Lilith, like, completely tarnished herself in the eyes of the hell realm, of the infernal realm. Like, they don't fuck with her, basically. I'm already cursing in the video. I try not to, but whatever. So the demons of the infernal realm do not fuck with Lilith because of what had transpired after, the whole Garden of Eden, Eve being slaughtered by Lilith, and Lilith being a terror to women and children in general. That's why that entity has been known to go after women and children, is because of her jealousy. She basically motivated by jealousy the fact that Adam had a new wife and had seemingly moved on, and basically seeing women having something that she did not have, seeing women in a healthy relationship, or having children with their spouses, like, that enraged Lilith and makes her jealous, and that would prompt her to attack, which is why we'd hear so many of these stories of the Lamashtu and Lilitu being these figures that would be a menace to the female population, and especially the pregnant female population of certain societies, which is why that Lilith is not any sort of feminine icon or feminist icon, not someone that you should ever look up to or try to invoke, especially if you're a woman, because Lilith hates women. She does. That entity that everybody is trying to flock to when it comes to, like, the dark divine feminine energy. Lilith has nothing to do with that. She's the opposite of that. And what a lot of people don't know in the occult spaces is that the demons, the hell realm, they're a matriarchal society. They don't take attacks to women and children lightly. They don't like it when people hurt women or children, you know, they don't fuck with the patriarchy. They hate it. And I'll get into another video later on, detailing how Satan is actually a feminine entity. Like a lot of the demons that are named throughout the you know, occult spaces, particularly ones that work with demons, some of those demons are actually female. Like they're not male. Like Satan's a female, Leviathan is actually a female, Cthulhu is also actually a female too, and so is Lucifer. Yeah, I know. It's also blasphemous what I'm saying, right? Like this is completely different from what, you know, that is what is touted as fact, and, you know, propped up as like this holy grail of like this, you know, like this is what it is, because everybody like is claiming this certain entity is a male when it's actually female, and they're trying to claim that Lilith is some goddess, and you know, the dark divine feminine, when they're not. Like it, I know this is different information. This is new. And I know that there are some people that are probably looking at me strangely and scratching their heads, but I'm like, that whatever. But it is what it is. This is the truth. Like Lilith is not a demon. She's not been accepted into the ranks of hell because of her heinous crimes. And in order to be accepted into hell, you have to be accepted by the gatekeepers, particularly Satan. She, Satan does not like her because of what she did. And some of you are probably wondering, like, well, if, you know, if succubus and incubus are demons or not. Well, they're succubus and incubus are not demons. Lilith is the mother of succubi, but she is not a demon, and succubi are not demons. So yeah, that's also a thing. So anyone that, you know, works with demons or claims to work with demons, but also works with Lilith or the incubus or succubus, you gotta kind of look at them sideways, because they are known ops, known opposition. If anyone's, you know, familiar with, you know, African American slang, ops mean opposition. We don't fuck with them. We don't like them. We don't. We like. They're not a part of the clique. So yeah. And another thing I want to preface this by saying, I also notice that in the spiritual and occult spaces, people tend to deify Lilith and demonize Eve. And it's also another thing that irked me, because Eve has had a major contribution within the occult myths and folklore. She's the one that was persuaded by Satan, chosen by Satan to receive the knowledge of good and evil. She was the one that made the leap of faith to bring knowledge to humanity, but there are people in the space that talk down on her, and that there's these memes that say, oh, be Lilith, never Eve, when Eve's the one that brought knowledge to humanity. Eve's the one that made that sacrifice, but yet she's getting crapped on. Meanwhile, Lilith, who freaking attacks women and children, is the one getting all the praise and completely deified and elevated to the station of goddess when she's not. Yeah, that's very just infuriating to see, when people don't seem to look deeper into the story or can't even put two and two together. They're making Lilith out into being this figure that she's not. She's not some gatekeeper. She's not some demonic gatekeeper. She's not a goddess. She's not a girl boss. She's not a girl boss, you know. She's not a girl's girl, basically. Layman's terms. She has never been a girl's girl. So we can, you know, get rid of that whole narrative right then and there, because that has never been, never was, she'll never be the girl boss, dark feminine goddess entity y'all want her to be and try to rebrand her into being. And I'll get into more things that kind of irk me about the spiritual community, because I do see a lot of these weird head canons about Lucifer and Lilith being a married couple, and, you know, them being together and stuff like that. It's like, no. Lilith has nothing to do with Lucifer, and Lucifer wants nothing to do with Lilith. Heck, Lucifer is a female entity, actually, too. So, again, like, there's just a lot of these misconceptions and misinformation about a lot of these entities, especially when it comes into the demon space. So, me and my friend, the Dark Oracle Sage, will talk about that and rectify that, because this propaganda, the propaganda about this entity, this spirit, is just grating on my nerves. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you like this video, you know what to do. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.